Hello, welcome. What you're about to see is not for the faint-hearted. What you're about to see is what I like to call the scary doors. Good luck. Yo, what's up guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm Underdog Reacts and I watched the 32nd episode of the Twilight Zone, aka Season 2, Episode 8. And I can tell you, the first story, was really fitting for the Twilight Zone again. The second story, yeah, can also be, if it's also a bit in the Twilight Zone, sure. Yeah, sure, yeah. Yeah. Let's just start with the episode, shall we? We're in narrator talk and we see a car. Wait, is it the car? See a car drive. We see a car drive, it takes a left. And it pulls up into a parking lot. We see there, what was it? Video West, and we see other just a parking lot with multiple stores, there one and here one, think about Better Call Saul, when Breaking Bad, when they drive up to Saul's place, you have multiple in one section on with one parking space, one parking lot, I mean. There a woman comes out. She walks to the back and she asks one of the kids to help her with the stroller. So, the kid says, okay. She opens the bag, takes out the stroller, he walks to the side. She yells to one of her other kids, her other son, to not go too far. And, she went to the side, to take the baby out. Out of the car. I'm gonna leave it at that because if you want to know what's gonna happen next, watch the episode yourself. The first story was a bit about a credit card, which I really don't get. I don't get you Americans with your credit cards. Oh yeah, it's for a credit score. Yeah, but why? You pay for shit that you don't have the money for. If you do have the money for it, why just don't pay it with a debit card? You have the money. Why would you, pay with a credit card so that you pay the price plus something on top of it because there's interest with it? Why just not pay the exact amount? Why spending more? Why spending more money? Why you can spend an exact amount of money, If it's $10 or $20 or whatever, you pay with your credit card. I don't know what how much interest is, but let's say you pay $20 for something, which is the normal price with a debit card, but you pay $22 if you do it with a credit card because there's interest with it. I don't know if it's 22, but let's say it's 22 then. I don't get that shit. Pay for the fucking full price, not with shit that not with money that you don't have. Because this lady, she was rejected by 2 other banks, or credit card companies or whatever. And this one, she didn't even read the contract. She just sign without reading it first. And every purchase has to be paid back within 7 days. Okay, but if you have to pay it back within 7 days, why not pay it for it directly? Because that means that you have the money somewhere, because otherwise you can't pay it back in 7 days, can you? Because you can't tell me, that you get, okay, with some jobs you get a weekly paycheck, but with most jobs you don't, and you can't tell me that you get miraculously get money every week so that you can pay off that, that credit card bill. Yeah, that's the part that I don't get, with credit cards. I don't have one, obviously, and I know only 2 people with a credit card. So, but like I said, I don't get you're American, so why not just pay the fucking, the fucking 100%? Why do you want to pay the 102% or 110% of it, Because that's what you basically do with, if you do it with a credit card. With a credit card, Just fucking retarded. And then I think you have to have a credit card, because otherwise you can't have a credit score. Well, and then you can't buy a house or something like that. I think I don't know what it exactly is, but I think I've heard something like that, which is fucking retarded. Why do you have to go a bit in depth? You have to go a bit in depth just to get a house. Because you need a credit card. Fuck that credit card. Jesus Christ, you Americans, crazy. Maybe not the Americans themselves, but, well, they too, but mostly the companies, because, they can't do anything about it, the customers can't do anything about it, the people that own, a credit card can't do anything about it. It's the company itself, it's a whole system there, it's fucked up. Anyway, usually you have to pay back in 30 days, which, every month you get your paycheck, so that makes kind of sense. But within 7 days, so, you better pay it off just directly, instead of making, paying it indirectly through a credit card. Where you pay even more with then. But the first story was really good, actually, so the first story gets definitely 5 out of 5. The second story was also pretty good, actually. This whole episode was actually pretty good. I really enjoyed it, so it's very rare, but maybe I would give this episode a 5 out of 5, because it was pretty good. That's it. I'm going to leave it at that. Leave a like, recommend a good show down below in the comment section, subscribe to the channel, come join the Discord, and see you guys next time. Bye.